I take great nostalgic pleasure in the occasional predictable romance and defy anyone to put two words together that better describe the entire Fable franchise. It's always had a PG-13 swords and sorcery Saturday morning cartoon kind of appeal, and there are times when that's just what the doctor ordered. Most of you know what I'm getting at. Games like this remind us of a simpler time when there was no greater conceivable joy than getting home on a Friday afternoon with a rented SNES cartridge in your hands and spending the next 3 days of wide-eyed exploration immersed in the perpetual thrill of discovery. It's like the gaming equivalent of comfort food. It's not going to do your mental waistline any favors by any means, but sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is just kick back and pig out. Besides, you can always hit the gym tomorrow, or the next day, or whenever. Right from the get-go, Fable 3 hurls you headlong into the giggling innocence of your childhood while conveniently skipping over the debilitating awkwardness of your puberty. You play as the royal offspring of whatever chicken-slaughtering misanthrope you rolled up in Fable 2. Unfortunately, your parents also spawned you a devious, hook-nosed megalomaniac of a brother who's hijacked supreme civic authority and discovered a taste for iron-fisted fascism. The unwashed masses are appropriately upset and decide to exercise the right to peaceful protest. After sticking your big nose in where it ought not have been stuck, you land yourself smack dab in the middle of a real Sophie's Choice, the first of many in this game, and have to decide whether it's the protest leaders or your beloved tart du jour that gets the axe. Apparently, that's the last straw, and under the diligent tutelage of your butler and your personal trainer, you flee the castle, dig up your old Birkenstocks, and begin preparations for a revolution. You spend the rest of the game hacking, slashing, and currying favor amongst prospective allies until such is the case that you and your army of ornery peasants can storm the bastion of the bourgeois and bring the system to its knees. Aside from a few tertiary changes, you can safely expect more of the same from Fable 3. What was formerly your pause menu is now a semi-existent fortress of solitude that you can appear in whenever you feel so inclined. The numerous pocketed caverns serve as your achievement record, armory, and walk-in wardrobe in case you feel like switching Che t-shirts. Your butler curates the whole bunker in addition to providing an abundance of snappy one-liners. It doesn't navigate any better than the traditional pause menu, and I'm still not entirely sure if in the mythology of it all this is supposed to be a real tangible shelter that the hero can will himself into at any given moment, but to me that would seem like a bit of an unfair advantage over the antagonists. Anyway, Fable 3 abandons the old silent protagonist thing, much to the game's detriment. Keeping the main character voiceless allowed the player to project more of themselves into the game's story. Video games, as a medium, certainly don't engage nearly as much of the creative brain as something like, say, a book would, but having the player imagine and subconsciously insert their own reactions really helped. The presence of a voice that is distinctly not the player's blocks that. It's the same reason the mannequins in storefront windows don't have heads. It's much easier for a potential customer to imagine how becoming the particular outfit would look on them. It doesn't ruin the experience of the game by any means, but it sure doesn't help. Nothing about the game is all that challenging, but it's all equally entertaining. There's an abundance of diverse and effective voice acting for every situation imaginable, which keeps the game immersive and helps to tell the story, as well as making smaller chance occurrences more meaningful. Everything in Albion is brightly colored and sharp-witted. Even the standard-issue button-mashing omnidirectional action RPG combat is illuminated by dialogue, as well as some extremely satisfying slow-motion kill animations. Your options for combat remain the same as always, but they're equally effective. It just depends on how you get your rocks off killing things, be it by melee, ranged, or magical cartoon violence. There certainly won't be any mind-bending excursions into the uncharted territories of our medium's potential as an art form, but Fable 3 does very well what video games have specialized in since their creation: entertainment. The stimulating art style and energetic gameplay help to tell a story as old as storytelling itself, but what the game really represents is a vaudevillian commitment to performance. You'll be entertained from start to finish, and as long as you're not looking to write your dissertation on it, I recommend picking it up for a nice, relaxing weekend of quality gaming. Until next week, you can call me Lameish.